Pakistan is a nation of 250 million people and one of only 7 countries in the world with nuclear weapons. Yet, in 2024, it finds itself without internet or slow internet, without active social media, and Twitter, which is banned since the start of the year. The country is under a complete lockdown, with the government acting as little more than a puppet while the military pulls the strings behind the scenes. But why? Because of mass protests by supporters of the PTI, the party of former Prime Minister Imran Khan. The man who once inspired millions to believe in a Naya Pakistan now sits behind bars, while his party's protests threaten to bring the country to a boiling point. So what's the real story behind this chaos? How did a nuclear-armed state fall into such disarray? And more importantly, is there a way out of this political and social nightmare for Pakistan? Let's try to understand, but first we need some background. Pakistan shares its borders with India. While India stands tall as the world's largest democracy, Pakistan is infamous for its chronic political instability. Here's a startling fact. No prime minister in Pakistan's history has ever completed their 5-year constitutional term. Not a single one. Pakistan's journey through democracy has been tumultuous. Since its independence, the nation has witnessed 4 major military coups. The last of these was led by General Pervez Musharraf, who seized power in 1999, but was forced out in 2008. Despite Musharraf's exit, the military's grip on power remains as strong as ever. In Pakistan, civilian governments often lack real authority. Instead, the military continues to wield significant influence, shaping the nation's policies and politics from behind the scenes. Amidst this political chaos, the military found a new face to rally behind: Imran Khan. A national hero and former cricketing superstar, Khan was once celebrated for leading Pakistan to its historic World Cup victory in 1992. But his journey from sports icon to political leader has been equally dramatic. Imran Khan rose to political prominence through his populist rhetoric and the promise of building a Naya Pakistan, or New Pakistan. Initially struggling to gain traction, Khan's party, PTI, surged in popularity during the early 2010s, capitalizing on public frustration with corruption and economic mismanagement under the traditional political elite, the Pakistan Muslim League, PMLN, and Pakistan People's Party, PPP. Khan positioned himself as an anti-corruption crusader, appealing to Pakistan's youth and middle class. In 2018, his party won the general elections, partly due to promises of reform and accountability, and partly due to support from Pakistan's influential military establishment. The military, historically dominant in Pakistan's politics, sought a civilian leader who would align with their interests while maintaining public legitimacy. Imran Khan, with his clean image and populist appeal, seemed the perfect candidate. His lack of a traditional political background likely made him appear more controllable compared to entrenched political dynasties like the Sharifs or Bhuttos. During the 2018 elections, the military was accused of influencing the outcome by allegedly sidelining other political players and boosting PTI. Analysts argue that Khan's promises to crack down on corruption and stabilize Pakistan's fragile economy resonated with the military's objectives. However, the relationship between Khan and the military soured over time due to policy disagreements and his attempts to assert independence. And then what was very much on the cards happened. Imran Khan was removed from power by the military-backed alliance PDM, or Pakistan Democratic Movement. In April 2022, Khan was ousted through a no-confidence motion in parliament, which he attributed to a foreign conspiracy allegedly backed by the US, though no evidence substantiated this claim. Following his removal, Khan began criticizing the military openly, further alienating his former backers. His subsequent arrest in 2023 and ongoing legal troubles have sparked protests and polarized the nation, leaving him politically vulnerable despite his enduring popularity among supporters. Now, moving to the current situation, Khan is in jail, and his party, PTI, is protesting, particularly on November 24, 2024. The protest aims to challenge the government's legitimacy and demand Khan's release, alongside broader calls for political freedom and justice. PTI leaders have described the rally as a decisive moment for the country's political trajectory. PTI supporters from various regions aim to converge on Islamabad. Leaders like Ali Amin Gandapur, the chief minister of KPK province, urge participants to gather near the city's red zone, which includes important government and foreign installations. The party announced intentions to hold a sit-in at D Chowk, a central location location in Islamabad until their demands are met. In response, the government has imposed significant restrictions, including partial internet and mobile service suspensions, and enhanced security measures in Islamabad and other key regions. The government implemented a security lockdown in Islamabad, deploying police and paramilitary forces in riot gear. Major roads and highways were blocked using shipping containers, and legal provisions banned gatherings. Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi warned PTI that no sit-in or protest would be permitted in Islamabad during Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko's visit. These actions reflect concerns over potential disruptions and unrest during the protest. The PTI rally also symbolizes broader public frustration over governance, economic instability, and allegations of military interference in politics, which many perceive as undermining democratic processes. However, Imran Khan has become a significant threat to Pakistan's military establishment for several reasons, challenging its traditional dominance over its political landscape. After his ouster in 2022, Imran Khan openly criticized the military, breaking a long-standing political taboo in Pakistan. By publicly accusing the military of interfering in civilian governance and orchestrating his removal, Khan undermined the military's carefully cultivated image as the guardian of national stability and integrity. Khan enjoys immense public support, particularly among Pakistan's youth and urban middle class. This popularity has translated into large-scale protests and rallies, demonstrating his ability to mobilize the masses against the establishment. The military fears that such widespread support could challenge its authority and limit its ability to control the political narrative. Unlike traditional politicians in Pakistan, who often align with the military to gain power, Khan's confrontational approach marks a departure. His repeated calls for civilian supremacy and an end to institutional interference have positioned him as a symbol of resistance against military overreach, threatening their hold on the political system. Khan's political style is marked by his unpredictable decisions and defiance of conventional norms. This unpredictability makes him more challenging for the military to control compared to traditional politicians who are more willing to compromise or follow directives. His outsider status, first as a cricketer and now as a reformist politician, makes him less reliant on the military's support. By publicly highlighting the military's involvement in his ouster and governance, Khan risks exposing the establishment's behind-the-scenes political maneuvering. This could lead to greater scrutiny of the military's role in civilian matters, eroding its unchecked influence. Khan's ability to rally supporters on an anti-establishment platform has energized Pakistan's political landscape. The PTI's narrative of justice, accountability, and civilian supremacy resonates with citizens frustrated by years of military dominance. The military sees this as a direct challenge to its authority. However, the Pakistani military seeks total control for several intertwined reasons rooted in historical, political, and institutional factors. Since Pakistan's independence, the military has positioned itself as the country's most powerful institution. It views itself as the guardian of Pakistan's sovereignty, stability, and ideological foundation. Over decades, it has built an extensive role in governance, foreign policy, and the economy, making relinquishing control a direct threat to its dominance. Corruption allegations, economic mismanagement, and political infighting have often plagued civilian governments in Pakistan. These failures allow the military to justify its interventions as necessary for national stability and progress. The military claims that civilian institutions are too weak or incompetent to govern effectively, positioning itself as the only capable entity. Through institutions like the Fauji Foundation and Army Welfare Trust, the military has developed a vast economic empire. It owns businesses ranging from agriculture and real estate to banking and manufacturing. Maintaining control over civilian institutions allows the military to safeguard its economic interests and prevent scrutiny of its financial dealings. The military tightly manages Pakistan's media, judiciary, and educational narratives to suppress dissent and maintain public support. Controlling these channels minimizes criticism of its role, reinforcing its image as the nation's protector. The military often cites internal security threats, such as terrorism, separatist movements, or political instability, as reasons to assert control. It portrays itself as indispensable in managing crises, perpetuating its role as the de facto decision-maker. The fierce confrontation between Imran Khan and Pakistan's military has plunged the country into a political and institutional crisis, raising concerns about its stability. The way forward requires collective efforts to establish a balance of power, strengthen democratic norms, and address economic and social grievances. Without meaningful reforms and dialogue, the cycle of instability and military dominance will continue to hinder Pakistan's progress.